Importance of vocabulary in Ielts speaking. Vocabulary serves different purposes in Ielts. Basically, you need it to understand questions and their contents. When you do not understand the question, you lose the chance to provide appropriate answers. So, in order to enrich your vocabulary in Ielts speaking, you must learn words and expressions on a wide range of topics, from most common to least common possible topics in a conversation. Habits IELTS learners have. There are habits learners do which they think are right, and they are persistent in doing them. First, knowing and memorizing uncommon words without knowing how to use them properly. Most have the study practice of learning uncommon or advanced words, believing they get high score when using them without understanding that when these words are used improperly, they convey wrong information or create grammatically wrong sentences. Second, disregarding common and basic words. Many perceive that basic words are less significant for their vocabulary skill, giving them lesser priority. As a result, using them as nouns, verbs, and adjectives is so confusing, and this causes the biggest misunderstanding in communication. These habits should be replaced with proper understanding and practices, which open chances of improvement. In this entire video, you will receive some suggested method to study vocabulary. Learn words systematically. List down vocabulary for set topics. List common words to useful technical words consisting of nouns, adjectives, adverbs to a set of verbs or verb phrases. Learning a set of words is beneficial in reducing mistakes of word partnership and word formation. Here are examples of nouns, adjectives, adverbs, which are helpful to properly answer questions about travel. Suggested words, nouns for the topic travel. To study words, particularly words unfamiliar to you, use the dictionary to check the following information. First, parts of speech. Is it noun, verb, adverb, or adjective? This will help you know their function in a sentence. Second, its proper pronunciation and stress. Third, the definition. This is very important for words with many definitions to make sure you're using the proper words in a given context. Fourth, sample sentences. Reading sample sentences confirm if you're using the words properly. Let's take the word destination as an example. It is a noun, and the stress is nay. Destination. This means the place visited and the main reason to take a trip. Here are provided example sentences. The perfect destination in summer is the northern island. My friends listed down our hiking destinations for this entire year. Other words include tourist attraction, itinerary, all-inclusive. If these words are unfamiliar to you, get your notes and check your dictionary for the important details about them. Here are additional words. The first one is accommodation. This refers to a place where you stay during travel. If you want to specify the kind of accommodation, you can use bed and breakfast, hotel, guest house, and others. Specifying them is necessary when you want to talk about the services, facilities, and amenities in particular. Other words are out of season and peak season. Now let's apply words in our answers. Here are part 1 questions. Do you often travel abroad? I have not traveled abroad, yet I usually visit different regions in my country, especially places with famous destinations. What is the best season to travel in your country? When it comes to budget, it's best to travel in out of season. The weather might not be perfect, or some leisure places may not be available, but the prices of services and products are just reasonable. However, if budget is not a concern, peak season is the best. You can avail of every activity and offer a place prepares for travelers. These two provided sample answers use the words destinations, out of season, and peak season. Knowing their meanings and their functions helps you speak fluently. Listed here are 4 adjectives which describe a scenery in a positive way. They are breathtaking, impressive, spectacular, and awe-inspiring. They are different words but with one meaning. They all mean awesome or amazing. It's important to learn synonyms to vary words in instances you want to emphasize content. Look at these sample sentences. The most breathtaking beach in the world is the White Haven in the northern Philippines. I really can vouch that the northern Philippines White Haven is awe-inspiring. Using synonyms increases the tendency of higher band score in vocabulary. Referring to travel, listed here are 4 adjectives that describe a destination you visit. These are opposite of awesome. Crowded is common to describe a place full of people or car. Bland and mundane describe an ordinary place, which means nothing is interesting. And deserted talks about an empty place. If you want to be definite with your description, these words are recommended. Your listener can definitely understand your description. Let's read these provided examples. The village is surrounded by bland scenery of mountains. It's not interesting to stay on this mundane rocky beach, so we just spend our time swimming. Here are some words about kinds of travel. Leisure travel, business travel, visiting friends and relatives travel. It is absolutely easier to describe your travel when you know exactly the description of these words. They talk about your purpose. Leisure travel includes travel for holidays, cultural events, and recreation sports. Business travel includes all travel for business reasons such as meetings, conferences, and exhibitions. Usually, business travelers have their expenses paid by their company. Visiting friends and relatives, or VFR, includes all travel for the purpose of meeting friends and relatives, either within your own country or abroad. Knowing words such as leisure trip and visiting friends and relatives trip can guide you to create a strong beginning sentence. And your succeeding sentences strongly describe your initial statement. Your explanation is automatically answering the question what you do in a leisure trip or visiting friends and relative trip. Knowing and understanding the words is a major key to providing strong and logical answers. Let's take the example. Have you traveled to any country before? Yes, I have. I had a leisure trip in Japan for 7 days. I visited different prefectures in the southern area and experiencing different weathers and entering many temples. Sample 2. Not yet, but I will go on a visiting friends and relatives trip in the Philippines this coming summer. I will be staying there for more than a week. It's worth spending time learning phrasal verbs, basically verbs plus prepositions, as these are a necessity in spoken English and will help you sound much more natural. Here are provided examples. See off, set off, get in, take off, check in, get off, check out, get away, get on, drop off, pick up, set out, speed up, look around, hurry up, look forward, stop over. Now, take time to read the provided phrasal verbs, memorize them, know their meaning, read the sample sentences, and practice using them. Let's review the method and use it in part 2. Again, listen to a sample answer. Read the sample answer. Review words related to travel used in the sample answer. Practice answering the question with your ideas using travel-related words from the list above. Here is a sample question. Describe a tourist attraction you once visited. You should say when you visited it, where is it situated, whom you went with, and say what about it you like the most. Here is a sample answer. When the pandemic subsided in January this year, my husband and I immediately traveled to a beach named Morning Islands. It is located in the south side of our province. Since we couldn't go on a trip for the last 2 years, we decided to stay on the island for 2 nights and 3 days. We checked into a beach resort on the island oceanfront. We were satisfied with this accommodation because it's very close to the beach and the rooms are spacious. And there is a balcony where we could sight the sunset in the evening. Every morning, we walked by the seashore while drinking coffee. The morning breeze was really mild and great to wake us up from sleepiness. We enjoyed looking around the resort because it is surrounded by breathtaking views. The sea beach is before it and a mountain of verdant view is behind it. Since it was peak season at that time, we couldn't use all facilities and amenities. They were all used by people. The infinity pool was crowded. The small hot tubs and spas were occupied, so we could avail them in the late night. Despite the limitations, we had a great time. I was really impressed with the cafe situated on the beach that opened at night. It was a perfect evening, relaxing and breathing nature. I would absolutely have a trip to that destination with my husband. In the sample answer, words from this video such as go on a trip, check into, accommodation, morning breeze, look around, breathtaking, verdant, peak season, destination, and other words such as oceanfront, seashore, facilities, amenities are used properly. The sample answer is logical since basically words are studied. So again, I highly suggest that you study words systematically. List down words about topics, know how to use them, and practice. You can starting in this video using the topic travel.